This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so Jack, can you confirm? Do you hear me? Yeah, hi Ame, welcome.
Hey,
So,
good morning.
yeah, good morning. All right, so let's start. Yeah, the recording is started now. And yesterday we were discussing these features of the Excel. Let's continue that. So we have discussed about this favorite. For example, if we have a view, we don't have to, go again and again into the new view and then select all the attributes. So what we can do is we can um, add them as a favorite as we did yesterday in this folder, and then view it. So the next time when we log on, we just have to click this, and then that particular planning view will be visible here. And then we also discussed that if we want to share it with some users, so somebody was asking if we can share it to the Gmail. So, this particular planning view, we are not sharing it to the Gmail IDs or any other email IDs, right? What we are sharing with, we are sharing with the list of authorized user who are actually the part of this IBP system, right? So, for example, in your project, there will be list of users who have the authorizations, and they will have their user IDs appearing here. So to those authorized user, we can share it, and where they will see it when they will log in into their IBP, right? And they will go to their favorites tab. The same thing, whatever we have shared, they will be able to see, and you know, it will come like this: shared by HS, shared by someone else. So like that. If you share it with someone, it will say that shared by me. It means that you have shared with someone. So like that, you will be able to recognize. And then if we need to make any adjustments, we go to the edit view, or we directly go to the filter if we need to adjust some filter, right? And then there could be some key figures which are where the changes are allowed. So in that case, we can make the changes here and then say save data. So for example, actuals quantity is something which will come from our source system, right? It can be the S4 system, it can be ECC system, right? So therefore, this kind of key figures will not be the editable key figure. We cannot edit it. For example, if I edit it, this is 3206. If I want to edit it with 2800 and then press the save button, it may not allow me. If I say this, it says that you have 0 valid changes. It means that the following key figure are not editable. This is the key figure where I tried to change one cell, but because this key figure is not editable, I will not be able to change it. And then it is telling that, do you want to continue? If I continue, the system will reset your invalid changes. So there are 0 invalid changes. There are no changes basically, and then it will reset it to 3000 something, right? We had 3206, so it will not allow. But there could be key figures, which may allow us to be editable. So let us see. For example, we have consensus demand. So if I put a cursor on this, it says that this is editable in the current and the future time periods, right? But not in the past. So and this consensus demand will be based on your uh, you know customer. So let's say that I will bring product and then customer. So here we see that, for example, this is the consensus demand. If I change something here, if I, it's a blank value here, and if I enter 2000, it should not allow me to save because this key figure is editable for the current or future time periods, right? And if I do so, if I go to the right hand side, and here, this is the current, we are in September, and this 80, I will change it to 7807, and I'll try to save it. It should now allow me. Okay, September 2022. Okay. Okay, maybe this is there may be some technical weeks. Just 1 second. Let me save this. So now, even if I refresh it, it will be 700 because I just saved it. So we'll come to this why it is not allowing in the current period, because there may be, this particular week is still not a technical week, and next week will be the technical week, but that shouldn't matter. But anyway, we'll go to that in depth later on when we are discussing the key figures. But as of now, you just understand the save data is to save any key figure changes that we are doing to the database. So this is one of the key figure, we are doing some changes, then we can use this save button to save those changes. And sometimes what happens is uh, we want to simulate the results when we are running the algorithm. For example, we want to see how the heuristics will calculate, how the forecast will calculate the result for a particular product. But I do not want to save those results in the database. So what I'll do is I'll use this simulate button and then execute that, and that particular algorithm I can just select and execute it, and without permanently saving your changes, right? It will just show me uh, the results until I again refresh it. If I refresh it, those results will be gone. Okay, so I can just go to the simulate button and I can just execute any of these. Let's say the um, stats forecast if I want to execute, or I want to execute the basic simulation. So it's not a real run, but it is something that I can just um, I just want to see it uh, with the help of this simulation, that how the results will look like. um, if I change, for example, my demand, I just want to see how the results will look like before I do the real run, right? Real run, I can do it from the application jobs here. All right, and then when you're refreshing it, it will take it will just refresh your screen. So like you are refreshing your web UI to get the latest data, right? For example, in the meantime, some of the quantity has been changed from the source system, and if you refresh it, that particular quantity, refreshed quantity will be appearing here, right? It does not happen that frequently because once in a day, your jobs will run, the batch job will run to pick your master data or transaction data on a daily basis, once in a day, right? So it will not happen very frequently. You will see the changes there. That will not be the case. So for example, in the night, uh, let's say the batch is running, and then in the morning, business morning hours, right, where the, let's say, the head office is there, the uh, according to them, their morning time zone, all the jobs are done, and by the time the the planners are starting their business, the jobs will be already completed, and they will already have the refreshed data in their system, which they can actually use it, right? And then, the very important is, we'll learn about this alerts and all. If you have certain alerts, it will be visible here, but the good UI for the alerts dashboard, that's the web UI. So we'll see that how to generate all those. But this also, Excel also gives you the visibility. If you have some alerts existing, then you can just see it here. There are 3 alerts, there are 4 alerts. As of now, there are no alerts. And then, this is very important, this master data, right? So let's understand here.
HS, I have a question.
Yeah.
So what are the activities that we can do in Excel-based interface and that we cannot do in Fury app and vice versa?
Yeah, in a nutshell, you just remember that, whatever configurations we do, for example, if we need to set up the forecast profile, right, in order to execute it, that algorithm, if we want to set up, for example, the um, supply planning heuristic, all those setups, the configurations we'll do in the Fury app. Okay. The day-to-day activities which, for example, if we want to see some data in terms of planning view, what is that particular actuals quantity or the sales history that is available for so and so period, all that will be visible in the Excel. And then if we want to save some data, right, in the planning view for the key figures which are editable in nature, we want to adjust some data, that also, the planners will do it in the front end, which will be the Excel, right? So
Okay.
mostly the, yeah, so mostly the consultants like us, when we need to configure it, that will be during the implementations or any change request is coming. During that time, we need to do some changes in the configuration. So those times we need to go to the Fury. Plus, if we need to create any dashboards or let's say alerts, during that time, those configurations also we need to do it in the Fury. Rest all the things. We want to see some data, we want to validate some data, we want to do some analysis on the data. All that data which is there in the saved in the backend, which is in the cloud database, that will be visualized in the front end. That front end will always be the Excel. So you will see that your planners, you know, demand planners, inventory planners, and then the supply planners in the team who are from the business side, IT side, right? They will spend most of their time in the Excel. And when they have to develop any dashboards on their own, because I've seen the even the business IT people who have got the training on this IBP, they will themselves will also prepare the dashboards. Only that particular time they will go to the Fury screen and then prepare that. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So now this particular we were discussing about how in the real time projects the Maseta will work, right? Let's say that we have the S4 system, and before that let me take a typical example. So I have worked for a client, you know, who has 3 different markets. Let's say America region, Asia Pacific region, and then we have the European region, right? So what they have done is they had 3 ECC systems for each of the market. So this is SAP System 1, SAP System 2, SAP System 3 on the ECC side, ERP systems. And then what they were doing is, because they were having 3 different systems for 3 different markets, they were first of all gathering these results into SAP BW system, and from BW system, using the middle interface. So by now we understand that there is a middle interface, which is the cloud platform integration, and this data from the BW system will go to the IBP system. So let's say that there is a product at a particular plant which is there for America region. The data is there in ECC 1 system. There is another product which is extended at a plant in the AP region, right? Similarly, there is, maybe it's the same product which is also extended to the plant at the European region, right? All this data, let's say that for the different location combinations, comes in BW via CPI. This product and that plant data, so we can call it as product location data, right? So that's a location master data. So that data will be actually available in IBP using this middle interface. So where do we see in IBP that this particular product at these locations, 3 locations, right? Now 3 combinations would have come. One is with the plant AM, with the plant AP, with the plant EU. So these 3 product locations would have come and sit into the master data, right? So where do we see that? For example, it has reached the IBP system. We can actually see it here in this master data workbook tab. How do we do that? I can just press this. For the first time, you will see that this edit button is not, it will be grayed out, and then you just say create. Create doesn't mean that you are creating something until unless you go into this edit mode. It will be in the display mode. Now let's say that you want to see some master data. So this, by default, this master data is selected. Now what you want to see, you will select the master data type. For example, the product we want to see, or the location product. Let's say that I have selected location product. and I just want to make sure that they are now available, right, in IBP, and I don't want to do any changes, right? So in real time, we hardly do any changes in the master data in this system. Whatever the changes has to be done will be done in this source system. That will, if there are multiple source system, that will flow to BW via CPI, it will reach IBP. So here, most of the times we'll only, display mode will be able to see that, okay, uh, you know, that, okay, this product's locations has reached the master data, right? If someone from the business asks, like, I'm planning these products, but I don't see them in the, I would like to plan these products at certain locations. I would like to generate the forecast for this, but I don't see that they have reached the IBP system. So what we'll do in that case, we'll backtrack. We'll see that, those products are available in the source system, and we'll check certain properties, right? Or we'll reach out to the team who is managing the system. We'll ask them, hey guys, do you see these products, why they are not reaching the IBP system? Are these products obsolete? Is there any um, deletion flag that has been maintained? Or if they say no, everything is fine, then we will reach out to the CPI team. We'll ask them, is there any filter condition that you are putting in between so that it is not allowing the system to send it to IBP system? And what else we can do from the IBP side, right? We'll learn about that. So we also have the data integration app. We can see that if there are any records getting rejected because of some reason, right? So these are few things that we can do, but what is the main stuff that we will go and first of all look to validate that really the data is not present in IBP. Maybe the planner who has raised this query has not seen it in a correct way. That's why he's not able to see, right? So the correct way will be to go into the master data workbook, go into the create button, and then we reach into this UI. So we need to select which is the right, you know, master data type that we would like to see, whether it is product or the combination of location product, and then any particular product that we would like to see. For example, if they are asking, okay, this three combinations that I have sent it to IBP, I would like to see those three combinations, then those three combinations I can put it as a filter also. So I can say that I would like to see the product ID, which are, for example, this and this three combinations at various locations. So at all the locations, so I'm not giving any filter for the locations. So this three product, let me just see at all the locations how it looks like. I just pressed OK. It should open a new UI where it has told me, where it is telling that this three products are available at these different locations here, and these are the other attributes which are actually available, right? So this screenshot, then we can send it to the planner who has raised this query, that I am able to see these three products in the system. Can you please double check it and let me know if you have any questions? Like this, we'll be able to find it. Now the second part of this story could be, right? So what I've seen for that particular client, later point of time after using this architecture for a for 1.5 to 2 years, what they have done is they have moved to a new architecture. In the new architecture, what they have done is they have replaced all these three systems with one system, which is the SAP S4 system, S4 HANA. So this is also, uh, you know, it was also their ERP system, but this will be the future roadmap from SAP side, and you will be hearing that in your projects if there are SAP ECC systems involved 6.0. Eventually, the customers are now migrating it to S4 HANA, right? So what they have done is all these three regions data they have brought into this S4 HANA system phase by phase. So meaning first they have moved America region to S4 HANA, meaning the other two systems were still, you know, combining their data and then sending it to BW, and then whatever they have moved to S4 HANA, so that let's say that they have moved the America region first. So this America region was then, this data was also going to, 1 second. Yeah, so this data was also going to BW, and then this ECC2 and ECC3 from the other two regions, Asia Pacific and European. So it was all clubbing up in BW, and the same way it was going. So slowly, what they have done is they have migrated all the three regions into S4 HANA, and they discarded it. They then discarded these systems, all the three systems, and then S4 HANA was the main source of systems for all the three regions. So if you have, a single system of record, you even don't have to uh, use it, the BW in between. You can directly, use the extractors. So the CPI consultant will use the standard extractors to pick the data from your SAP S4 HANA directly using CPI to IBP. So maybe for reporting purpose, if you are sending some data to BW, because in BW also people do a lot of reporting, and then for that purpose, if that data is sent to BW, that's a different case. But there may be some selective data going to BW, but not for the sake of sending the data to IBP using CBI. It can be directly via this way.
So
And
I
then,
have a question, HS. So
yeah,
when you say CPI, yesterday in the slide it was written CPI DS. So what is
yeah,
that? I mean, CPI data services or what is that?
yeah, exactly. So it is commonly called as CPI DS. The CPI DS is also a tool, integration tools, where that will be managed by your CPI integration consultant teams. So that commonly is known as CPI DS. So whatever this extractors we are doing, all that will be in the CPI DS box.
Okay, so is it a similar kind of business object data services?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is also, a kind of like you have a Fury screen for your IBP, right? In the
Uh-huh.
same way, the CPI also will have a kind of, web UI screen where you will develop some kind of, let's say, agents. You will
Jobs
make,
or something.
yeah,
Jobs
and
or
then,
agents, yeah.
yeah, agents, and that agent has to be live all the time. That has to be switched on. If that is switched on, meaning uh, the system is up and running and it is eligible to take the data from the source and load it into the target. If that, I've seen in the projects, people make it one agent and then as a primary, and there will be secondary agent also in case that fails. Then there will be, the second agent will be running on the system to make sure that the data flows seamlessly, right? So, and then there are a lot of mappings also that has to be done. So those are all one-time efforts. There may be some custom fields in your ECC or S4 system which are not the part of the standard. So those custom fields, Z fields, also will be mapped to some of the key figures in the IBP, or from the master data side. It will be mapped uh, to the master data in IBP, so that the system knows where to dump the data in master data or in terms of key figures, all that stuff, right?
Okay. So are you going to cover anything on CPI? Little bit at least in
CPI,
our training.
we can add one session. A basic
Okay.
overview
Sure.
on the CPI. Yeah, the architecture, how it works, right? And
Okay.
then how those agents will look like, and all that stuff. So a basic overview, sometime we can do it, not a problem. All right, very good. Others didn't join, I think, today. Okay. So for example, uh, if I am into this one already, now you see that the edit option is allowed. I can add several other tabs also. I want to see the location product. I also want to see the list of the customers that are available in the system as a part of master data. I also want to add one more tab, and I want to see the all the list of the products that are available in the system. And I want to remove this filter. I want to see all the products, all the product location combinations. And if I remove this filter, it will show me. And if one of these, if I just press this edit button, others I want to keep as in the display mode. If I keep edit button, you will see that the look and feel will little bit change. That will come in the key fields will be coming in the yellow. So this is in the display mode. This is also in the display mode. So now it will show me all the list of customers with their uh, you know attributes associated with region that customer belongs to. It belongs to America region, it belongs to Asia Pacific, it belongs to your European region. All that uh, stuff is there. Then in the product, it will show me in the edit mode. So in the edit mode, you will see that the look and feel little bit will change. So you will understand that I am in the edit mode. So you need to be little careful, because if you edit something that uh, uh, is going to, if that is going to save, then it means that that master will directly change into IBP. Let's say that accidentally you perform this action. Yeah, do not worry. Okay, because let's say that accidentally you have uh, changed this brand, right? So next day when the job will run, anyway from the source system it will identify uh, you know uh, uh, this particular record has been changed, so it will again override with the right record, right? So generally we should avoid going to the production system and change it. But in case we do so, either we change it back directly in the IBP system and then save data. So now important thing, yeah, please pay attention. Important thing is uh, this save data will not work in the master data case. In the master data case, if you are in edit mode, you will have this save changes button. So if you are changing something, you need to press this save changes. So let's say that this A, I'm changing it to B, and then I'll press this. Nothing is happening. Why? So small things matter here because my cursor is here in this cell. So take it out your cursor here. Again, press save changes button. It is now uh, it takes a little bit of time because it is saving the changes to the cloud, right? So these changes are not into our local Excel file. It is going to the cloud, and then it will say me that one uh, change has been done successfully. or for some reason this change what I've done was not a meaningful value, if there are some validations, it will show me that number of rejected records are 1. But in this case, the number of success records are 1, but there is no rejection record. In case there is a rejection record, I can download the report and I can see that what is that actually error it has given me. So by seeing that error, I'll be able to correct that error. So we'll see certain examples. For now, you just understand that this save changes button, we can save any changes that we make uh, to the master data. And then this also master data section also has the favorite. For example, this 3 tabs we have taken, right? 1, 2, and then 3. So this 3 tabs, I want to save it in a favorite. So for example, I have a routine work to check, location, product, customer, and product. I don't have to go to the master data, to the create, and then do select those again and again, right? I don't have to select, location, product, customer here, and then press go. So what I can do is, in the same way as I was able to save the favorites in the planning view, I should be able to save the favorite in the master data also using this tab. I just have to say add. If I want to save it under a folder, I'll just say new folder. Or if I don't want to do that, so directly I can just say test master data, or I'm doing a routine job to validate master data on the daily basis. So I'm just adding it. It will save the favorite. So next time when I come, I will just have to click this, then all these 3 tabs will be loaded, and I don't have to go in this um, master data workbook create button and do all that exercise again. So this is all about the master data tab, right? I think Ame left. I don't know, maybe some network issues, but no problem. He can see the recording. So now another important topic, just pay attention.
Yes. So it is from S4 also we need to use the CPI interface.
Yes,
CPI is a
anything
man.
that you
Okay.
yes, yeah. So that's the middle interface. That's how you are going to get the data. So all
Mm-hmm.
your time series data, you will use the CPI. So some customers have now started, doing the order-based planning. So that's not a very mature tool as of now. But if you have to do that order-based planning, you need to use the SDI, that is the Smart Data Integration. But
Okay.
you know yeah, 90% of the projects you will see that CPI will be used for all this time series based data.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the very important concept is this scenario. So you will see that in our introduction session what we have seen is there is something called as what if analysis, right? So customers implement this what if analysis very frequently. This is one of the powerful feature in IBP. So for example, if you do some changes in the demand, then what's the impact on the forecast? So if demand changes, what's the impact on the forecast, right? If my um, frequency, or let me call it as order frequency, right? So let's say that in your warehouse, right? your order frequency is for a particular product once in a month. So if your order frequency is changing, that becomes, you know, once in a year, right? Then your safety stock will change, for example, right? You have to keep more safety stock because now your order frequency is once in a year, right? So in case if you change your order frequency, what's the impact on safety stock? So, so to get the answers for this, you can use scenarios in IBP. So the scenarios will help you to do this on the fly without doing any kind of, coding into the system. You will be seeing that you can just, uh, you know, create the scenarios on the fly, and then you will be able to see the impact without disturbing the data in the production version. Meaning you have the real-time data saved in production version. You don't want to disturb this data in the production version until unless you are sure about the changes that what you are doing and the impact of it. So what you will do is, without disturbing production version data. So by default, anything that we are saving, right, in the key figure, let's say that we just saved this 700, right? Where it is getting saved, by default, it's getting saved in the production version, right? So without disturbing the production version data, we can create scenario in IBP, and if we are satisfied with the planning results, then we can promote the changes to production version, right? So what generally happens in the real time, let's say that there is a team of the, let's say, demand planners, right? In that team there is a lead, and then under that lead there are three reportees, right? They are working under that particular lead. So let's say that those three reportees have created some scenarios in the system. Now those scenarios they can share it with their lead. Their lead will see that, okay, uh, I can see out of these three scenarios, one of the scenario makes sense for me, and then uh, you know your lead or the reporting manager can have a review. The demand planning manager can review it for that sake and then promote it. So once he promote it, it means that those changes will be saved into the production version, because now that is getting approved. So this is very, very important and very powerful, you can say, functionality within IVP, which help to design something called as what if. On the fly we can just design those scenarios. How do we implement it? We implement it into the Excel. So now here we go. Here we have the scenario section, and we do have something called as create, right? So
So
let's
Hitesh,
say that
is it something like ad hoc analysis or?
Yeah, you can say that, ad hoc you are doing some kind of analysis, because in planning we do lot of this kind of analysis, right? Uh, because planning
Yeah,
system, right? We are planning it. We want to see if, uh, some kind of demand changes are happening, or there are some, period between reviews, which is nothing but the order frequency that is getting changed. What will be the impact on my uh, you know, um, pipeline stock, or my in transit stock, or for example, the recommended safety stock. So all this what if
yes,
analysis is very much necessary in such kind of modules like planning. So planners, their day-to-day activities will be this only, right? To
yeah,
to plan and then see if these changes are happening in our supply chain, what how the impact will look like, all those stuffs, so in order to create that scenario, let's say that now this particular stuff, as we know that, by default it will be saved under the production version, right? Then if I create scenario, let's say that I'm creating this, I can give any name to this scenario. So let's say that demand change, let's say consensus demand change, and I can give some description. I can copy paste the description, and like we were discussing, for example, one of the uh, you know team member is doing these changes. They can share it with their lead or demand planning manager. Let's say that one of the ID here is this. I'm sharing it. I'll say okay. So this data will be saved, and I'll take just one product so that it will be little handy. So let it save, and then so now you see that this scenario has come, right? So how do we, so let's do some changes in the edit view. I'm going, and I want to concentrate on the consensus, because here I'm making some changes in the scenario, and I want to concentrate on, let's say, only one single product. So I'll say okay. Yeah, so only this product at these customer IDs have come in the form of scenarios. So now, you know, whatever data was there in the production version has been copied here. So what I can do is I can again go to the edit view so that I can compare between the scenario and the real version. What I'll do is I will just, you know, this is my base version data. This is already there. And then this is the scenario. And by default, the production version data goes and save into something called as baseline version. So by default, it does that. So if I want to compare in the real, what I have in the real production version, and in the scenario what I have created, I'll take both of them and I'll say okay. So then it is showing me that in the baseline I have 700, and then in the consensus as of now, in the scenario I have that 700. Let me do one thing. Let me again go to the edit view and take the periods. Yeah, so now you will be able to visualize it clearly. So now you see that now without disturbing the production version data, where is my production version data? It is here in the baseline. Now here you don't want to disturb this one. This is the objective, but you want to see if you increase your consensus demand from 700, let's say, to 1000 in October month, and then in November month you increase it from 61 to 79, then if you just save it, now after saving this, even if you refresh it, now you see that this is your this is your scenario. What you have created, the scenario name that we have given is the consensus demand change, and then these are the two values which we have modified, right? This 1000 and this 79, right? This is what we did. Now let's say that why we modified this. Let's say I want to execute the heuristic on the scenario and on the baseline, just to see that what result my heuristic will give on this scenario, what results it will give in the baseline scenario. If the results that are given by the heuristic for the consensus demand, which has been modified, increased to this in the next 2 months, are okay with me, right? Or are okay with the demand manager or the lead, demand planning lead, what they will do is they will just promote it. And then the same data will get copied to the baseline version. So in order to promote it, let's say that I have seen the results of the heuristic, I am fine. If the consensus demand is getting high, I can manage those, uh, uh, supply results, right? So what I can do is I'll say that, okay, this looks good to me. Then what I'll do is I'm going to this, okay, let me come again. I've clicked this manage button, and this is the one which we just created, consensus demand, HS consensus demand change, and we shared with this manager. So let's say this manager has logged into the system, and manager may say promote, or he may say reset it. Reset means it will be reset to the same what it was. And then if I say promote, and then if I do apply changes, then what will happen is this 1079 will actually be promoted to this version. So why it is not promoted? Let me refresh it one time. I think after refresh, it will get promoted. So now you see that this also has become same as this one, right? So the scenarios we'll see little bit more as we go to the core topics as well. But as of now, you just understand this concept, and that's it. All right. So maybe for today we can just stop it here, uh, because we need to digest also, right? All this stuff. So I don't want to, rush with this. So we can again resume it in our next session.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Yeah, we'll just stop it for the day, and then we'll meet with something new with the same energy. Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.